Welcome to the MD Solutions Optimax Training Series, Basic List View Customization. In this session, we will discuss adding and removing columns, moving and resizing columns, and basic filter creation. The list views in Optimax all have a set default view. These views are customizable based on your organization's need. If you are not sure which fields in the list views you need for your workflow, contact MD Solutions support for assistance. Now let's get started on the basics. Let's start with adding columns. We'll use the billing list view as an example, but note that adding columns to a list is done the same throughout the program. The standard billing view does not have the patient's first or last name, and you may find that information useful, especially if you're not familiar with the account number. To add columns, right-click on the column header area and select Column Chooser from the menu. The customization window will open with a list of already available fields to choose from. The fields that show in the menu are fields directly contained in the billing. The patient's first and last name are not in this list because the patient is a child of the billing, so we will need to add them from the object model tree. To add the first and last name to the column list, click Add in the customization window. This will open the object model tree. Notice that billing is the first thing in the list because we are in the billing list object. Under billing, you will see all of the related fields. Moving down the list, we want to locate patient. Now we want to expand the patient to see all of the fields contained within. Here we will find the first and last name. You'll want to click the check mark box for both of these and click OK to add them to the customization window. Now, to add the first and last name to the billing list view, locate the items in the customization list and click and drag them up individually and drop them into the column header. You now have the patient's first and last name in your billing list view. Now let's take a look at removing columns. There may be columns in the standard list views that you don't need or want to see. To remove columns, you can do one of the following. You can right-click on the column that you are wanting to remove and select Hide this column from the menu. Or you can click the column and drag it until you see the black X and then release it. Now, once you have your preferred columns in place, they can be moved around to suit your viewing preference. To move columns, click on the header of the column you wish to move, then drag and drop it to your preferred location on the grid. Columns can also be resized. The more columns you have in your view, the narrower they will be. You may wish to change the width of the columns to see more information. To resize your columns, you can do one of the following. You can drag the right edge of the column to the left or right to make it wider or narrower. Or to change the column's width so it displays the contents neatly in their entirety, you can do the following. You can double-click the right edge of the column, or you can right-click on the column header area and choose Best Fit from the menu. Lastly, let's take a look at simple filter creation. List views in Optimax contain a filter editor that is used to filter data. Filters can be created that will allow you to see data based on a specific criteria. Filters that are created are on a per-user basis, meaning that if you created it, only you have access to it. We'll start with a very basic one that is valuable to the billing list view, and that is filtering the list based on insurance status. If you are wanting additional filters and are unsure how or where in Optimax to create them, please contact MD Solutions for assistance. Now let's take a look on how to create these filters. Click on the Filters icon in the menu ribbon and select New Filter from the menu. The editor window appears. Make sure to add the caption so that you know what this filter is for in the future. For this example, we'll change it to Primary Ready. Take note of the object type. This filter will only be available in the billing list view. Now we need to add the criteria for the filter. Click the plus button for the group. The editor will display an unfinished condition. We need to set the conditions column to insurance status. To set, click on the current column and the object tree will appear. You can either scroll to locate insurance status or type insurance status to locate the field. Next is the operator. In this example, we're going to leave it as equals. However, if you needed to operate differently, then you would click on equals and choose a different operator. Now we need to set the operand. You will see only the available options for the insurance status column. We will choose Primary Ready. Click OK, and you will see that the billing list now only views billings that have an insurance status of Primary Ready. This filter should be created for every insurance status available. As stated previously, any filters that a user creates is available only to them. They can share the filter with other users by editing the filter and copying the text from the Text tab in the editor. All subsequent users will then paste the text into their Filter Text tab. It is important to note that after all filters and customization has been completed, that you log out of Optimax to save those changes. You should now be able to easily customize your list views and create basic list view filters.